Hey love, I'm Zora. Welcome to Her Unfolding, where we get real about healing, shadow work, and becoming. Take a breath, let's get into it.
Hey love, welcome in, or welcome back. Whether you found this podcast by accident or you've been riding with me for a while, I believe you were meant to hear this today. And I don't say that lightly, because maybe you've been feeling it lately. That tug in your chest, that quiet voice in your soul whispering, this ain't it. Something has to shift. Maybe it's been building for weeks. Or maybe you woke up this morning and felt it in your bones. A knowing that the way you've been living, surviving, performing, holding it all together, it's no longer sustainable. Let me be the first to tell you, you are not crazy, you are not broken, and you are not alone. This episode, this isn't just about motivation, this is about reinvention. And no, reinvention ain't just for life coaches or self-help gurus with vision boards and green juice. Reinvention is for every woman who woke up one day and realized, I've outgrown the version of me I've been pretending to be. And if you feel that in your spirit right now, welcome home, sis. Let's talk about it. You've been surviving, showing up, smiling, producing, holding space for everyone else, but inside something feels off. You can't put your finger on it, but your joy feels distant. Your laughter feels like it's coming from the version of you used to be. Your body's here, but your spirit feels tired. And listen, I get it, because I've been her. The overachiever, the caretaker, the one who gets it done no matter what. But at what cost? There was a season in my life where I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. I looked successful, but I was disconnected from my joy, disconnected from my peace, disconnected from me. And the worst part, nobody knew, because I made sure they didn't. Until one day, I hit my no more moment. And I had to get real. You ever have that moment? That moment where you look around at your life and think, I built all this. I survived all this, and I'm still not okay. Maybe it's the late night scrolling where your chest feels heavy for no reason. Maybe it's hearing someone ask, are you good? And lying through your teeth with, yeah, I'm straight. Or maybe it's just waking up tired, not just in your body, but in your soul. If you've had that moment, or if you're in it right now, this podcast is your permission slip. We're going to take everything that survival taught you and rework it into something sacred. Because surviving is a skill. But thriving is a strategy. And baby, that's what we're building today. Let me tell you about two women. Janelle is 42. She's married, a mother, works full-time, and still runs her household like clockwork. To the world, she's got it all together until she doesn't. She laughs less now. She cries in the shower so nobody hears her. And lately, she's been asking God, is this the life I prayed for? Then there's Joan. She's 37, no kids, no ring. But her plate is just as full. She works a 9-to-5, builds her business at night, and holds space for everyone else. Even when she's carrying silent grief of her own. She's surrounded by friends who unload their motherhood and marriage struggles, but no one asks Joan if she wants those things too, or if she's still waiting. Her heart aches sometimes, for clarity, for companionship, for permission to admit she's tired too. And both of them, Janelle and Joan, they're different, but they're connected by this one truth. I can't live like this anymore. That quiet knowing is what brought them here, to this moment, to this shift. Because something inside them said, I'm not meant to just survive, I want to feel again. So let's start right here with something most people overlook. Your environment. You cannot thrive in chaos, and I don't just mean emotionally, I'm talking about the physical space around you. Because sometimes what looks like laziness or lack of motivation is really just you trying to function inside an environment that's choking your spirit. So look around. Is your space reflecting the woman you're becoming? Or is it reinforcing the version of you that's just trying to hold on? Let's start small. Clear one drawer, wipe down one counter, pick up one pile of clothes. And don't just do it for aesthetics, do it with intention. Say this out loud while you do it. I am making space for peace. I am creating room for my healing. That might sound small, but energy lives in everything. And your environment sets the tone for your transformation. Next, we've got to talk about your circle. Who? I know this one's sensitive, but let's go there. Because healing isn't just about self-care and candles and journaling. Healing is also about who's around you while you're trying to grow. So, let me ask you straight up. Who in your life drains your energy the moment you speak to them? Who keeps you tied to your past because they can't see your future? Who supports the old version of you, but disappears when you try to evolve? You can't shift your story while surrounded by folks who benefit from your survival mode. And no, it doesn't mean you have to cut everybody off, but you do need to create boundaries that protect the woman you're becoming. Let me tell you a little more about Joan and her friend Tasha. They had history, years of friendship, loyalty. Tasha was the kind of friend who would pull up when you needed her, but only if you were in survival mode, because the moment Joan started talking about her boundaries, her healing, her business, her peace, Tasha would get weird. She'd say things like, "I just don't want you to lose yourself. I'm worried you're doing too much. You've changed." But here's the thing, Joan was changing. She was shedding old patterns. She was learning to say no without explaining herself. She was finally putting herself first. And deep down, Tasha wasn't actually mad at Joan. She was scared. Scared that Joan's growth would reveal her own stuckness. Scared that if Joan became someone new, she'd have to face the parts of herself she'd been avoiding too. But instead of admitting that, she projected. She disguised her fear as concern. She masked her insecurity as love. And she made Joan feel guilty for evolving. That kind of guilt is heavy, sis, because when someone claims to love you but can't celebrate your growth, that's not love, that's possession. And Joan had to learn this the hard way. You can't keep shrinking just to keep someone else comfortable. So she didn't cut Tasha off. She just stopped asking for permission to grow. She stopped softening her joy. She stopped apologizing for her wins. She stopped making herself relatable by staying small. And in doing that, she created room to breathe, to expand, to become. Because when you start healing, really healing, you start noticing who's uncomfortable with your evolution. And that includes the people you love the most. And it wasn't just her friendships. Joan started noticing it in her relationship too. Her boyfriend used to love how easy she was, how she didn't complain, how she played the cool ride or die girlfriend. But when Joan started healing, when she stopped tolerating the little disrespect, when she said, "No, I'm not okay with that," instead of pretending she was unbothered, suddenly he had a problem. He started saying things like, "You've changed. You don't act the same anymore. You used to be down for me." But what he really meant was, "I miss the version of you that didn't know her worth." Joan wasn't acting brand new. She was finally honoring the parts of herself she used to silence to keep the peace. She wasn't becoming difficult. She was becoming whole. And what broke her heart wasn't his words. It was realizing that the love she thought was solid was only solid when she stayed small. Because here's the truth, sis. Some people only love you when you're easy to control. Some people only stay loyal to the version of you that doesn't have boundaries. And when you grow, they call it an attitude. But growth isn't disrespectful, it's clarity. And Joan had to learn this. If my healing offends you, it was never love, it was convenience. She still loved him. But she stopped losing herself to keep him. She chose peace, she chose honesty, she chose her. That's not selfish, that's sacred. Say it with me. I am allowed to love people and still love myself enough to choose peace. Now let's talk about your habits, because this isn't just emotional, it's behavioral. You ever wonder why it feels easier to stay in patterns you know are draining you? It's because survival mode is familiar. It doesn't challenge you to become, it just keeps you busy enough not to notice you're stuck. So here's the question I want you to sit with. What am I doing every day that's keeping me in survival mode? Start small and honest. Is it the snooze button 5 times every morning? Is it opening social media before you open your Bible or your journal? Is it saying yes when your body is begging for no? Choose one habit to shift this week, just one. And make it intentional. If you always wake up anxious, start your morning with 5 minutes of silence and breath before anything else. If you feel resentful by 10 a.m., look at where your time is being stolen and reclaim it. Remember, you don't need a complete overhaul. You just need to interrupt the pattern. Because every time you choose peace over panic, rest over rush, truth over performance, you are rewriting the story. Let's get into something deeper now. You cannot build a new life while clinging to old beliefs. Let me bring Janelle back for a moment. One night she was folding laundry after midnight. Everyone in her house was asleep. And she just stood there, holding a towel, thinking, why do I always have to be the one who holds everything together? She wasn't mad. She wasn't even crying. She was just tired. Tired of always being the strong one. Tired of never asking for help because somewhere along the line, she learned that rest was earned. That softness was a weakness. That asking for support made you a burden. That's what survival taught her. And in that quiet moment, she realized, if I want to thrive, I have to unlearn that. Because being strong all the time, that's not sustainable. And it's not holy. What's holy is being honest. What's holy is being human. And I know this might sting a little, but let me say it gently. You have to unlearn the lies that survival taught you. Things like, if I stop, everything will fall apart. I have to be strong 100% of the time. My worth is tied to how much I do for others. Rest is earned, not natural. These are not truths. These are trauma echoes. These are the voices of the women before us who were never given the space to heal, so they passed down survival. But you're doing the brave thing. You're breaking the cycle, and yes, it's going to feel scary, because when you've been in survival for years, peace feels unfamiliar. But lean in anyway. Breathe through it. Talk to God about it. Say, Lord, help me feel safe in what's healthy. Teach me that ease is not the enemy. Let's anchor in this next part, because thriving is not just about what you let go of, it's about what you build. And here's the truth. You don't need a 15-step healing plan. You need rhythm. A few sacred things that you do daily to remind yourself, I'm not who I used to be. Here's what that might look like. Morning stillness. Even 3 minutes before you touch your phone, breathe. Speak life. Be still with God. Mirror check-in. Look yourself in the eye and say, I love you, I see you, I'm showing up for you today. One journal question. Keep it simple. Ask, what do I need right now? Or, where am I not being honest with myself? Peace break, midday. No input, no noise. Just you in silence. 10 minutes of reconnection. Evening release. Write down what you're letting go of. Speak it out loud. Give it to God. You don't have to be perfect with it. You just have to be present with it. Consistency builds clarity. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence creates freedom. And finally, sis, we're not leaving this conversation without talking about joy. Because joy is not optional. Joy is not something you get after the healing is done. Joy is medicine. Joy is resistance. Joy is the proof that the storm didn't take you out. So, please, don't postpone your joy. Make it part of your process. Celebrate that you took a walk. Celebrate that you told the truth in your journal. Celebrate that you showed up for yourself by pressing play on this episode. Small joy is still holy joy. And it's time to make it non-negotiable. Before we close, I want you to ask yourself this. What does the thriving version of me believe about herself that I don't believe yet? Write it down, because that's the belief you're walking toward. Let's close with this affirmation. Say it softly, say it boldly, say it like you mean it. I am no longer living in survival mode. I am clearing space, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I am becoming the woman I was always meant to be. I am safe to rest. I am worthy of joy. I am showing up for me. I am thriving. Take a deep breath, love. You are doing the work. You are in the story rewrite, and I'm so proud of you. See you next time, beautiful.